So ang isabong po ay pumapasok lamang when two elements are met. Una po sa lahat ay ang pagla-livestream or pagpo-broadcast ng mga licensed cockfights from these licensed cockpit arenas. And these are being live-streamed or broadcasted to off-cockpit betting, to off-cockpit betting for purposes po of betting by the players. So again, Mr. Chair, we would like to have that clarification that traditional sabong po is different from e-sabong, the latter being regulated and licensed by the PAGCOR. And again, Mr. Chair, we commit to assisting our law enforcement agencies to attend the ends of this committee. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yung number 1, may nakuha ka bang CCTV doon sa loob ng Manila Arena? Footages sa loob? Naghingi ba kayo doon sa management ng Manila Arena ng footages?
The investigators of Manila DFU, sir, requested CCTV footages and other documents na pwedeng makatulong, sir. However, they failed to acquire one because, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Yes, GPNP and Director Albert Pero. Nabasa niyo ba yung RA 10973? Binigyan namin kayo ng subpoena powers. Issue subpoena and subpoena duces tecum. Ayaw nilang mag-hit sa request ninyo. Why did you not issue subpoena and subpoena duces tecum to the management of Manila Arena? You can compel them. If they don't comply, you can go to the court and have them cited for indirect contempt. Hindi ba alam yon?
Mr. Chair, we issued subpoena dosis tecum and asked
Yeah.
Kandong.
So they still did not comply.
Yes.
So what did you do next?
What I did when I was instructed by our GPNP, Mr. Chair, is that on February 1, I went personally to Manila Arena and I was able to
Excuse me, tanggalin mo.
I was able to get an audience with Mr. Atongang, and we're able to talk, and he gave me the cooperation that we were asking for the people that could.
Were you able to get the CCTV footages?
Yes, sir. According to to Mr. Ang, that there was no CCTV during that date, and they are going to install after maybe at the end of January. And
Wala o defective?
they told me, sir, that they were not able yet to install. They did not yet install it, and they will be installing it because according to them, yung level IATF level ng COVID was intermittent in a sense that hindi talaga sila continuously nagpapalaro ng sabong doon, sir, sa Manila Arena.
You could have compelled them to submit kasi may subpoena powers na kayo.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. General Pero, sabi nila wala silang CCTV na naka-install during that incident?
That was what I get from Mr. Ang, sir.
Oh, PAGCOR. Di ba requirement ninyo ito bago kayo mag-issue ng license na the vicinity of the arena should be covered with the complete CCTV? Eh bakit walang CCTV yon? So dapat automatic tinanggalan yung license ng Manila Arena kung ganun. Wala pa lang CCTV na nakalagay, na-install.
Mr. Chair, for the licensing of the cockpits, it's with the local government unit, Mr. Chair.
Nakalagay yan doon sa kuan ninyo sa requirements yung conditions ninyo before kayo mag-issue ng permit nitong license nitong sabong operators na dapat yung establishmento nila kung saan sila nagsasabong ay covered. Ito, minimum surveillance system and coverage requirements. Number 1, PAGCOR has mandated for all gaming sites to have a CCTV system where it will serve as a deterrent for anomalous activities in the site. Nagdetect na nga yung biktima sa kanyang tatay na we are pinick up kami. Nilagay kami sa gray van dito sa loob ng Manila Arena. So that's very anomalous. This is done, number two, this is done for proactive security monitoring, which will be standardized across all sites. At least 4 CCTV cameras shall be allocated within gaming site premises. Additional number of CCTV cameras may be required depending on the approved gaming site layout to ensure there are no blind spots. So dapat hindi na masabi nito na hindi na-cover yan ng aming CCTV set dahil blind spot. Walang blind spot ito. And it is your responsibility to make sure na ito'y na-comply. CCTV cameras must be operational 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, regardless of gaming site operating hour. Ang daming requirements na nire-require ninyo dito sa bago kayo magbigay ng license sa isang e-sabong operator. Bakit walang sinasabi nila na walang silang CCTV?
Mr. Chair, the gaming site po contemplated in our regulatory framework does not include po cockpits po because the licensing of the cockpits is with the local government unit, Mr. Chair.
Ito, basahin ko sa iyo ha. Section 3 of PAGCOR Regulatory Framework for e-sabong off-cockpit betting station. Section 3, Security, Surveillance, and Records. Minimum security requirements. The gaming site must have at least 1 security guard, so on and so forth. Hanggang dumating dito, PAGCOR has mandated for all gaming sites to have a CCTV system. Sa inyo ito. Bakit mo ipapasa sa local government na nakalagay ito dito?
Mr. Chair, if I may be allowed to
Regulatory
clarify.
framework. Ano?
If I may be allowed to clarify, Mr. Chair.
Chairman,
Go ahead.
a very simple question. Do we want to solve this case or cases or not?
We want to,
Eh, huwag
Mr.
tayo magturuan kung gusto niyo ma-solve. Instead of helping, you're giving us excuses. You're finger pointing.
I would like to clarify, Mr. Chair, our framework, if I may be allowed.
Yeah, go ahead. Please.
The framework, the Honorable Chairman just quoted po is for our off-cockpit betting station that is different po from the cockpit arena. We understand, Mr. Chair, that we have a requirement of placing CCTVs in this off-cockpit betting station. Ito po ang mga tayaan, which is different po from the cockpit arena, kung saan po nagaganap ang mga cockfights.
Bakit yung off-cockpit ni-require nyo ganito, tapos yung arena mismo, walang ganito requirement? Ano to? Bakit? Hindi ba magkakaroon ng anomalous transaction doon sa arena mismo? Di ba? Doon nga nangyayari yung QPN na sinasabi ninyo. Nagkakaroon ng QPN doon mismo sa kuwan. Dapat ni-require niyo ito doon.
We understand, Mr. Chair, but again po, I would just like to clarify that the jurisdiction po of PAGCOR is only on the betting po, and yung sa CCTV requirement po that was just quoted is for our off-cockpit betting stations po, and not for the cockpit arena, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Whatever your explanation is, but I just would like to klaruhin ko lang ito sa PNP na yung rason na sinasabing wala silang nailagay na CCTV during the incident, tapos after the incident, saka pa sila naglagay ng CCTVs, napakahinang alibay para sa akin. I must tell you frankly. Go ahead, sir.
You should, General Pero, you should also check with the Manila Business Permits and License Office. Okay ba sa kanila? Yung mga ganong cockpit? Hindi nagko-comply? Should get in touch with them.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Senator Tolentino.
Station here. Everything emanates from the gross misrepresentation of PAGCOR as to how Republic Act 9487 should operate, as well as their overbroad interpretation of their own regulatory framework, which was not given to them in the first place by Republic Act 9487. So sila na po yung nag-extend ng kapangyarihan nila, sila pa ho yung bigay sa sarili nila ng kapangyarihan i-interpret yung kapangyarihang iginawad nila sa kanilang sarili. Ito po yung pinag-uusapan po ngayon na kailangan ba ang CCTV doon lamang sa parang off-track doon sa betting station o kailangan din po ba doon sa kung saan nagaganap yung physical na sabong. So all of this, Mr. Chairman, emanated from their broad interpretation of their authority granted to them by their own self, Mr. Chairman. Ito po yung nakikita kong pinag-ugatan nito na ang sinasabi nila ngayon ay galing din naman doon sa mga opinion ng Department of Justice at Office of the Solicitor General na wala sa ating batas. Salamat po, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I agree with you, Senator Tolentino.
Ma'am, are you listening? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. May sinabi po kayo kanina, there are two elements needed before an e-sabong operator is given a franchise by PAGCOR. Ang nabanggit nyo lang isa, live streaming. Siguro po nakalimutan nyo yung pangalawa. Ano po yung pangalawa?
No, Mr. Chair. The second po is for the purposes of betting po.
For purposes of betting. Siguro, habang tumatakbo tong hearing natin mamaya, o sagutin nyo paulit-ulit, saan galing po yung karapatan ninyong mag-issue ng prangkisa para sa isabong. Binabasa ko po itong Republic Act 9487. Wala naman po dito nakalagay na allowed kayo mag-issue ng prangkisa sa isabong. At binabasa ko rin po yung inyong regulatory framework for electronic sabong. Hindi ko alam kung saan nyo nakuha itong karapatan nyo o authority na mag-issue ng regulatory framework for isabong, except perhaps kung nagre-rely kayo sa opinion na lumabas galing sa Department of Justice or sa Office of the Solicitor General. Pero nagtatag pa kayo ng isang bagong opisina, isabong licensing department, na wala naman dati. So, babalik-balikan ko po yan saan nag-ugat ang karapatan ninyo, authority, na mag-issue ng prangkisa para sa isabong.
If I may be allowed.
Yeah, Senator Tolentino, I think you're referring to license in the franchise.
Yes,
License.
yes, yung license. Yung license. Nagkiklaim kayo na may delegated authority kayo na wala naman po sa Republic Act 9487 na hawak-hawak ko rito.
You have the floor, please. PAGCOR.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, we derive our authority po to grant licenses to e-sabong operators by virtue of OSG, opinion from the Office of the Solicitor General, dated May 31, 2018, opinion from the Department of Justice, dated January 28, 2021, and a memorandum po from the Executive Secretary, Office of the President. These three correspondences, Mr. Chair, identify or recognizes our authority, PAGCOR's authority to issue licenses.
Again, Mr. Chairman, wala po ako nakikitang legal authority. Isang authority galing sa batas, na galing sa Kongreso, na nagbibigay sa inyo ng karapatan na mag-issue ng lisensya para sa isabong. Dahil nakalagay nga dito sa Section 2, yung authority niyo hindi kasama po yung games of number. Kanina, dinidifferentiate mo yung physical sabong at isabong, pero again, medyo malabo po yan.
PAGCOR, in response to Senator Tolentino, mentioned issuances or authorities, issuances from SOLGIN, Office of the Executive Secretary, and DOJ. Can we get copies of that? And sana during this hearing, para we can have follow-up questions. Kasi I'm sure my colleagues would also want to know what are these issuances that are now the basis of PAGCOR's authority to grant online gaming, because Senator Joel already says that cockfighting per se was already excluded. So kung merong mga bagong issuances na ganito, di natin alam, put it on record so that we can also study it. That's one question. Can I just get a confirmation from PAGCOR that they will provide ASAP?
Yes, PAGCOR, can you give
Yes,
us the requirements of Senator Pia?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Yes,
and then
approbative, Senator Pia.
And then my second question also is a follow-up. I think this was in response to the Senate President, Senator Soto's question on PAGCOR's authority who are these grantees of PAGCOR. And I think PAGCOR mentioned, was it 7? So can we, and I'm not sure if the names were mentioned, but in any case, there can we put on record the names of each of these grantees and who are the people behind this? So the incorporators, the president, the managing boards. I'd like to know that, Mr. President. Let's put that on record as well. So that
Yes.
we know who are these personalities, kasi we don't want them to be hiding behind their corporate veil. We want them to be they should all be willing to show their face and acknowledge that this activity that they have ventured in is causing these kind of problems and be accountable for it. So we want to get their full names, Mr. President. Can we do that? Mr. Chairman, can we do that?
Yes, we can do that right away, Senator Pia. PAGCOR, can you name names? Who are these, who are the persons behind these seven licenses na binigyan ninyo ng license? Mga pangalan.
For Belvedere, Mr. Chair, for Belvedere Vista Corporation.
May request dito na medyo pwede mong anyway, may cover man tayo sa gilid. O pwede pa samantala, tanggalin mo lang muna sandali. Then balik mo lang
Yes,
mamaya
Mr.
after
Chair.
ka magsalita. Kasi hindi daw marinig, sabi nung media na nagmumonitor.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Sige, please.
For Belvedere Vista Corporation, Mr. Chair, we have Mr. Rogelio Morales. For Lucky 8 Star Quest Incorporated, our authorized representative for that is Attorney Angelo Nino Santos. For Visayas Cockers Club Incorporated, Mr. Christopher Santiago. For
Gusto ni Senator Pia malaman
Complete, not just representative. Yes,
complete.
Mr. Chairman.
Kasi baka mamaya ito isa lang tao ito, tapos gusto niya malaman yung
we will provide,
Stockholder.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, the incorporators, the board of directors, and the whole management team from the president, the vice president, the general manager.
Anyway, Senator Pia, later on sa hearing natin,
Yeah.
produce mo yun at i-present mo dito dito sa hearing natin para ma-put on record kung sino yung mga tao na yan, ha?
Yes.
Yes, Mr.
Siguro, Mr. Chairman, since she only has itong sabi niyang representative, yun kahit isang name na nga, ituloy na niya yun para we can do our research on them and then later on, at the proper time, I leave it up to you, Mr. Chairman, pag ready na sila, ibigay nila yung kompleto. Pero pabigay na lang natin yung part na yun.